Hey, it's Allie Edwards, and welcome back to another stamping project in my Storytelling with Stamps series, where I'm featuring projects using stamps that we recently released in a collaboration with Laura Wansick. You can see that in this one, I am starting out by stamping the word movies over and over again, repeat stamping that on top of a pattern paper from the Heart scrapbook kit. We do still have some available of these, of that particular kit if you are interested in some of the papers that I'll be using today. The uppercase alpha stamp is a really fun one, and it's on a 6x8 sheet. It also has a secondary alpha that goes along with it that is a cursive alpha. I was going to use it on this one, and then it didn't end up working out how I wanted it to, so I went ahead and just used the uppercase alpha, repeat stamping the word movies that's going on top of the A heart there. That's going to be, originally I thought I would use it on top of that star pattern paper, but I'm going to switch that out, and you'll see that later on in the video. Currently, I'm pairing this with a full page photo. Lots of full page photos in my projects for many years and these days for sure. The ink that I'm using on this one is a bright pink ink. It's one of the little mini archival inks from Tim Holtz. And the other thing that I'm going to add on to that pattern is something that you've seen me do in the other recent videos here in this series, where I'm going to take the Allie Phrases stamp set and I'm going to put those in between the stamped word movies, so in between those lines of text there. And the stamp that I'm adding on in this one is the one from Joan Didion that says, "We tell ourselves stories in order to live." One of my favorite quotes there. And at this point in the process, I wasn't sure what I was going to do with my journaling, where that was going to go. Was I going to add some additional photos? The photo of Simon and I in the movie theater was Katie actually took that. Katie, who works with me. We had the chance to go see some Harry Potter movies here recently, which was really fun. Next up, I am taking another pattern paper from the Heart scrapbook kit, and I'm going to use one of the textured / patterned hearts that were a part of this release. I love these so much, and I have another fun project coming up for you guys here on via video in the next couple of days using these as well. But in this case, what I decided to do is stamp one of the textured ones on top of a speech bubble heart, and then I'm going to cut that out. I actually end up using a different color of this same heart here. I actually have to do the process again because I stamp on top of here and I make a mistake, so then I have to redo it, which, as if you've watched any of my stamping videos in the past, this is a common occurrence, which is just fine for me. But I definitely love cutting out shapes from pattern paper. That's something I've been doing a lot of, and something that I incorporate when I'm actually designing these papers is, what can I put onto this paper that could be cut out to create its own embellishment, or that I could build a page around. So at first I thought maybe I would put the speech bubble heart above the other one, but as I went along, I was like, no, I really want to put that speech bubble heart over the photo of Simon and I. And then I picked out a different pattern paper, which ends up being the star pattern there from the Star scrapbook kit, with the heart, the movies, the word movies stamped on top, and the heart on top of that. And you'll see more of how I end up tackling that in a little bit. Here's where I had to repeat stamp on top of a second speech bubble. I took out the mistake. A lot of times I leave mistakes in, but this time I took it out. And then I'm using one of the catchphrases words from the catchphrase stamp set, which is another super fun stamp set. It has words like and the and with and made by and for. Great for combining with other things. So in this case, I'm using our black puffy alpha, and I'm putting the S and the A on there for Simon and Allie. Love creating this little title on there. I'll also be grabbing some word phrase stickers and pulling one off of one of those sheets to add on to this heart. Just in a couple minutes here, kind of testing out what did I want to say and where did I want to go. So I've got a word phrase sticker on there, and it says just loving this moment is what it is. And then I did end up adding the date on the top there as well before I cut out the heart, and then I'll be adhering that onto the photo of Simon and I. Again, this is a good example too in this project. this photo that Katie took of Simon and I is definitely blurry, right? It's in the dark. It's clear enough, I felt like, to use. And I loved being able to see it because Simon and I really do love going to the movies together. And so this project that I worked on here is really kind of a celebration of Simon and I going to the movies and then being able to go with Katie and her son Graham too. And that's going to play into the journaling that I choose to do in a couple minutes. So I went ahead and cut that out. I'm going to use rolling adhesive to adhere that down. Here you can see where I'm starting to think, how am I going to put some journaling on here? Am I going to make a flip up with that larger heart? What do I want to do? But before I moved on to that part, I ended up taking some foam adhesive and cutting it up and lifting up that word phrase sticker up off the back of the heart there. Just wanted a little extra dimension before I went ahead and adhered the whole thing down on top of the photo. As you'll see later on, I actually replaced this photo. I reprint it because I wanted to have some text along the bottom, and you'll see that pop up here in just a little bit as well. So going ahead and using the foam adhesive there, and then I'm going to use rolling adhesive to adhere that onto the photo. One of the things that you might notice is I haven't actually punched the holes yet. That's something I try to do in the beginning. That's coming up. It's coming up. It's going to happen before I get too far into this process. Like I said, I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. If I don't do it right in the beginning, I can almost always tell, like, I start feeling, no, it's almost nervous, like I'm going to forget to do it, and then place an embellishment right over the top of the photos. So as I thought about what I wanted to do with that heart, what I ended up doing was going over to my computer. When you subscribe to our scrapbook kit, the physical scrapbook kit, you actually get the digital kit for free. And what I did in this case is I took the heart shape, opened it up in Photoshop, and was able to create a mask for my photo and my journaling. So I had this cute photo of Simon and Graham and Katie and I placed it inside of a heart in Photoshop, and then I moved it over to the side so that I had some space for journaling. Went ahead and typed up my journaling and then printed that all out and then cut it out. And as you can see here, I'm just trimming off some of the excess around the edge. So I was able to just specify this heart from the pattern paper so that it would be exactly the same size. You could also always just print out your photo and then trim it, right? Trim it so that you have it to be the same shape as the heart from the pattern paper. There's lots of different ways that you could get to that point. Yours might look a little bit different than mine, which is totally fine, but you can kind of give yourself this direction to go in. Now, the way that I'm making this an interactive element is I just ran a paper piercer through there, placing a little mini brad inside of it, which then allows it to swivel up to reveal the journaling and the photo underneath. I totally love how that turned out. I thought that was a really fun way to approach this particular project. I'm really having fun with interactive stuff and working outside of the page protectors for a lot of these projects recently. It's just bringing me a whole lot of joy, which is something that I think we can all use right now as well as always. All right, so then on top of that movie's heart, I did want to add some additional embellishments. So I pulled out my heart box there where I have a lot of my heart embellishments, and I paired a plastic, like a peach colored plastic heart with a chipboard heart. Again, these are just from my stash, so things that I've had in there for a long time. I liked how the peach color of this plastic heart matched the peach color of the heart that I cut out from the pattern paper, so that speech bubble pattern paper. Thought that turned out really cute. I did end up needing to use red line tape to adhere that embellishment down on top of that larger heart there. And that's what you can see is kind of happening there. I need to make sure I'll add the red line tape to the supply list as well. So love that little swivel. Just makes me really happy. All right, here you can see where I reprinted that photo because I wanted to add a little bit of I wanted to add something related to how much I love going to the movies with Simon, and that's really what that says. The other journaling that's underneath the heart talks about going to the movies with Katie and Simon. So it's kind of it's a story that talks a little bit about just loving going to the movies with Simon, but also specifies the specific time when we went with Katie and Graham. So I'm going to go ahead and repunch the holes on that guy there. And then the last little embellishment that I decide to add on after I pull off the heart speech bubble there. I pull it off and then I add a little more adhesive to the back of it before I stick it down. I think, yeah, just a little bit of extra. The last thing I did is I grabbed another one of those tab stickers from the May Stories by the Month kit. I think these tab stickers are like one of my most favorite things right now. I've just decided to take one that says details and I fold it over and then adhere it. I actually trimmed a little bit off the bottom, and then I'm going to adhere it right above that journaling along the bottom of the photo there. Just a nice and easy way to specify some details related to the story, and then I'm going to use my tiny attacher to staple it in place. I love that little bit of extra texture. I really think this one turned out super fun. Let me know if you guys have any questions in the comments below, and we'll see you back here soon with another project.